the vision is yet for an appointed time. But at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry.
You know, we're supposed to not talk about, but we should, is central banking digital currencies. Where's all this heading?
The nature of this CBDC, what is it actually going to look like? It was around this large and would be implanted under your skin.
The end goal is to get everybody fish, to control the whole society.
You're hearing about fish implanted in bodies.
Maybe a chip that we put into our forehead or our hand. This is a way to completely control absolutely every human being on Earth.
In order to control mankind, we have to get them all into the big cities. We have to rack them up and stack them up, get them dependent on the state for their food, their shelter, their electrical power, their water, everything.
If you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off the ship. And you have nothing. You can't buy food. You can't do anything. It's total control of the people. Total control. Total control.
Unfortunately, Simon Phoenix was not coded. While you were sleeping, everyone in the city was installed code. It was a brilliant idea by Dr. Cocteau that an organically bioengineered microchip be sewn into the skin. Sensors all over the city can zero in on anyone at any time.
I can't even conceive a visual of what you police officers did before it was developed.
We work for a living. This fascist crap makes me want to puke.
What do you think you're scratching, caveman? You really think we'd let you go without control? Your code was implanted the second you thawed.
Why didn't you just shove a leash up my ass?
They're selling this as one way. It's all going to be a utopian thing if we all upgrade. I mean, that's how it's being framed, right? But if you look at how these people think, they don't want that. They're looking at feudalism and how do you create a class of slaves that cannot even cognitively rebel ever again.
Evil. I mean, it seems an overused word, and it's one I swore off about 5 years ago. I said, I don't want to call things evil because it has to be evil is a different level. But when you're talking about controlling and dumbing down and enslaving and destroying, I don't know what other word to use for it.
A lot of the banks are very involved. And when you are in bed with the banks and the banks are in bed with you, it's very hard to go against that in today's world. And, they're making it even harder on the little people in Canada that protested with the trucker protest. They were deplatformed, not from social media, but from the financial system. And I think that's going to become increasingly common. It's already happening to a lot of people that I work with, taken off of PayPal, having trouble with their banks, Venmo. I mean,
Sure.
And I think that's going to, become increasingly commonplace, and that's how they're going to try and force compliance. And, a big part of this, you have the move towards a central bank digital currency and all of that at the same time, which is programmable money. The state decides whether you save or you spend. They decide what you can and can't buy and all this stuff.
It's the way you control a population.
Yeah. And I think all these governments are really interested right now in domestic control. If the banks are deplatforming people, you can't use their financial system. Are you going to go to the CBDC land where eventually you won't be able to spend money without like a microchip in your hand, like a microchip in your hand and all of this stuff? There's obvious red lines people can't cross.